Tonight, councillors and mayors caught up in the donations debacle, set for a second chance. And pet owners urged to look after their furry friend during this week's hot spell.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. South Australian Council members caught up in the donation declaration saga will be spared a by-election. The government set to rush emergency legislation through Parliament, aimed at saving ratepayers thousands of dollars.
A last-minute reprieve for elected members currently sidelined. Those forced to stand down from council for failing to meet a deadline for paperwork are set for a second chance.
45 people, for various reasons, didn't meet the deadline, so therefore they were under the Act, the current legislation, they were deemed to be not elected to the elected position of a council, whether it's a mayor or a councillor.
The changes will grant those affected an additional 10 days to lodge their campaign donation returns, to avoid losing their position. Mr Brock says the bill is aimed at protecting ratepayers from bearing the cost of multiple by-elections.
This would have put another financial impact onto those communities, another $30,000, $40,000, maybe $50,000, depends what it's going to cost for the Electoral Commissioner.
Another local government concern is also set to be addressed. Local council supplementary elections will go ahead, with numbers looking promising.
We've got 45 candidates, which is a really good thing for the people of South Australia. It means they've got lots of choice in terms of who their candidates are going to be, and they can make an informed choice about who they want to represent them.
The Electoral Commission praising councils for raising awareness about the situation.
Particularly from a rural and regional point of view, local councils are obviously the closest government that people actually have contact with. So, they look after everything from water supplies through to childcare, through to, the roads and rubbish and things like that.
Ballot packs for the supplementary elections must be posted before the 10th of March to ensure they're counted. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The SA Liberals want the state government to adopt their proposal for an Indigenous voice to Parliament after announcing they will vote against the current model. They say it's too vague and rushed, but the Attorney-General has rejected their concerns.
Making their position clear and calling for change. The state opposition says while they believe in an SA voice, they can't support what's been debated in the Legislative Council.
It just won't improve outcomes, and the engagement model is not going to give Aboriginal communities the opportunity to work on those necessary improvements.
The Liberals want the government to adopt the proposal from when they were in power.
That model provides for effective engagement, and we're committed to improving practical outcomes through effective engagement.
Also raising concerns about a lack of consultation.
Well, we haven't really been engaged very much at all. Labor, I think, brought this bill in about 9 days ago and placed it, maybe a couple of days more than that, placed it on the Legislative Council floor and began debate on this.
But the Attorney-General has rejected the claim.
Over the last 6 months by Dale Aegis, our Commissioner for First Nations Voice, was the most thorough consultation that a state government's ever done with Aboriginal South Australia. And that stands in stark contrast to the Liberals' proposal, which had 9 days of consultation.
The opposition admits it can't block the bill due to the Greens supporting it in the Legislative Council and the government having a majority in the House of Assembly. The state government disappointed it won't have bipartisan backing.
The Liberal opposition changed their mind on a support for a voice parliament. I think it's disappointing, and it's disappointing for South Australia.
The Liberal Party supported an Indigenous voice to Parliament. They've now completely backflipped their position in a way that I think will shock a lot of South Australians, myself included.
Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Police are appealing for information as they investigate a break-in at a North Shields home earlier this week. The house on Lincoln Highway was broken into while the occupants were asleep between 10 p.m. on Monday night and 6 a.m. yesterday morning. They say 2 Samsung tablets, a purse and vehicle keys were stolen from the property. A car on the property was also interfered with. Police are asking anyone who may have seen suspicious activity in the area during that time to contact Crime Stoppers. A Port Augusta woman has lost her licence on the spot after being caught drink driving in the city last night. Police allege they saw a car driving down a one-way street in the wrong direction with no lights on just after 9 o'clock. After stopping it, the 45-year-old's breath test showed a positive reading of 0.220, which is more than 4 times the legal limit. The driver lost her licence for 12 months, while the vehicle was also impounded for 28 days. She will appear in court at a later date. A statewide code red is now in effect, with resources now available for people struggling through the current heatwave. With temperatures continuing to soar, the SPCA is also reminding community members that pets often feel the brunt of the heat even more.
A challenging time for humans and their best friends. With temperatures continuing to climb this week, SPCA centres across the region are bracing for a surge in heat-related incidents. They're warning the scorching weather we're dealing with turns footpaths into hot plates for paws and raises temperatures in cars to deadly levels.
We have more animals coming in at this time, and also because of the heat, they need that additional level of care to make sure that they stay safe, that they stay well hydrated.
The increased workload seeing SPCA Whyalla and Port Lincoln put out the call for more volunteers to join their ranks.
And we're definitely needing more volunteers at the moment because the summer months are our busiest months.
Whyalla local Paul, one of the many to respond to the call for help. He says volunteering is a great way to keep active in the community.
If they have extra time on their hands, and they want to volunteer, we have all different positions, from dog walkers, coming in doing gardening, or just generally giving a hand whenever we need it.
The SPCA says through improving the lives of animals, their team also develop vital skills and knowledge which may assist them with future employment opportunities.
Just apply through the SPCA website, full name, what you're interested in doing, but there's heaps of other stuff in there that you can just look through.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, the foundations are being laid on a statewide pavement replacement program. And a Port Pirie accommodation provider wins a top gong at a national level. Welcome back. Both the state and federal government are laying the foundation for better roads in Port Lincoln. Roadworks will continue throughout the year, aimed at providing safer, more modern streets.
Paving the way for a better experience on one of Port Lincoln's most important roads. Modifications are underway on the Lincoln Highway, which is a key freight, tourist and pedestrian hub.
It's about improving the road structure there, the pavements there. It's also about working with the council to actually look at the opportunities.
The change is funded through a $51 million state and federal government program targeting strategically important roads. Among the changes, improved vehicle turning, better facilities for pedestrians, new curbs and gutters, and new line markings.
Can we work together to actually do extra landscaping, the footpaths upgrading, and also the fact is to make it a lot safer for trucks coming into Port Lincoln itself.
As work continues, drivers are asked to be cautious in the area between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m.
It's very, very unfortunate, but we need to do that work out there. So again, there will be some strict restrictions there, but I'm asking the people of Port Lincoln and the surrounding areas when they're coming into the CBD of Port Lincoln, leading into the silos and those areas there, just to be a bit patient.
This is the first phase, with upgrades between Flinders Highway and Mortlock Terrace to commence later this year.
Port Lincoln, as we all know, is a great grain facility over there, and there's lots of heavy vehicles coming into the CBD area in Liverpool Street and so forth. And again, this is really, really well and truly overdue.
Alison Hall, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A new survey has revealed South Australians are hooked on fishing, with 1 in 4 residents dropping a line in the water. The latest recreational fishing survey showed that around 337,000 people spent more than 1.3 million days fishing in 2021-2022. That number is up by more than 70,000 people compared to the last survey period in 2014. King George whiting, blue crabs, Tommy Rough and calamari are among the most popular species being reeled in. The state government says it's pleasing to see anglers out enjoying the pastime and doing so in a sustainable way. If you've been travelling, you'll know RV parks have grown in popularity as a low-cost and sustainable way to travel. Port Pirie is now home to an award-winning site, which has been recognised for its close proximity to shopping centres and major tourist attractions.
Within the grounds of the Port Football and Community Club and the Southern Flinders Rangers lies a nationally recognised accommodation provider. The Camper Van and Motorhome Club of Australia RV Park recently received bronze in this year's Best Grey Nomad Community Stay Award.
Council at Port Pirie, also the footy club and all the local members we have there should be congratulated for supporting and partnering with such a proposal.
Experts say RV parks are an attractive way to travel due to the big open spaces and freedom they provide for owners to come and go.
We are heavily involved in promoting regional and rural tourism. We've got our members and other enthusiasts travelling around Australia all the time.
And the Port Pirie site is certainly popular, this couple enjoying what's on offer in the city.
This is our third time.
Yeah, and we enjoy just the city itself, the close proximity to the footy club and the shops next door.
It's been fantastic.
Got everything.
And everybody's so friendly.
Also providing a great opportunity to socialise and meet like-minded people.
And the good part about having and staying here is 4:30 or thereabouts we have a happy hour and you meet all the other guests that travel around Australia.
To get inspired and get travelling, visit CMCA's website to view a list of RV-friendly towns. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Whyalla Council calling for residents to help clean up Australia. And Connected Beings hosts its latest event in Port Augusta. Welcome back. You're watching 7 Spencer Gulf News. South Australia's largest insurer is moving forward as demand for electric and hybrid cars continues to soar across the state. The RAA will soon begin training its roadside assistance mechanics and approved repairer staff so they can work on EVs. Fixing flat batteries and dealing with charging issues will be targeted in the rollout. CEO Nick Reid says the changes will ensure members can get the services they need, no matter what type of car they drive. He also says the initiative will also help fill a growing skills shortage in the field. The Whyalla community is getting ready to make their city shine, with Clean Up Australia Day just around the corner. Participants have been encouraged to grab their gloves, enclosed shoes and rubbish bags to make some positive change around the community.
Time to step up and clean up. On Sunday the 5th of March, Whyalla residents are being asked to come celebrate Clean Up Australia Day as a community.
Come on down here to Wilson Park, register your family, friends and everybody else, and we will give you a bag and if you need some gloves, and off you can go to anywhere around Whyalla to do a clean-up.
At the conclusion of the clean-up, registered participants can return to Wilson Park to dispose of their rubbish in the skip bins provided.
There are a couple of other community events around Whyalla. There are 2 events at Point Lowly and one at Fitzgerald Bay. These both organised by Fascinate Australia.
Iron Knob Road, one of the many areas of the city set for some attention, with the local Lions Club holding their own clean-up there. The council also helping to cover the cost of different groups' dump fees on the day.
Community can register for their own cleanup event through a Clean Up Australia website, and they can contact council for assistance for dump their rubbish.
It's not all hard work. At the end of the event, food and drinks will be on offer to reward volunteers.
As a party and Casa de Pan are helping us out, so we'd love people just to hang around after they've finished, and we'll supply you with some drinks and a free barbecue.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Indigenous parents are being encouraged to bring their children to preschool sessions at Connected Beings in Port Augusta. The organisation says early child development is a critical part of their upbringing and also has benefits for parents.
Saying welcome in the quintessential Aussie way. A celebratory barbecue for new families is just one part of Connected Beginnings outreach across Port Augusta. The organisation has also expanded its early child development program.
It's looking at the whole child, the whole development of the child from 0 to 4. And research shows that the first 2 years of a child's life is very important in the development of the whole of the child.
So the playgroups have been really popular. They're every Tuesday and Wednesday morning, specifically just for families that are Aboriginal. The Aboriginal Hub here is an amazing space that we have been developing over some time. Still only new, and we really want to get the word out so that people use it more.
Laurie Webster says the group is providing a vital service that was previously left unfulfilled in the city.
In particular in Port Augusta, there aren't any Aboriginal focused playgroups as such, so we really see ourselves as filling a gap.
The playgroups also benefiting adults, allowing parents to socialise and get information about other services.
We have partnered with Playgroup SA who do deliver the playgroups out the back, but we have all Aboriginal staff. We have a wonderful team and they're there to support the parents and the children as well as any other activities that we run from here.
Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Port Adelaide confirms it's visiting the region before the AFL season kicks off. And we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Hello again. Whyalla will be once again visited by the Power, with the AFL club bringing one of the region's up-and-coming stars home for an event. Port Adelaide is set to host a junior clinic in the city next week to help improve the skills of local athletes. Taking place next Thursday, the lineup of special guests will include Whyalla's own Hannah Ewings and Premiership star Sean Burgoyne. Players aged 5 to 15 can register for the event via the club's website. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. With all the details, here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John, and good evening, everyone. The heat was packing a punch today with multiple places in South Australia going beyond the dreaded 40 degrees mark. Spare a thought for those on the Nullarbor. The region passed a sizzling 45 just before 4 p.m. In our region, it wasn't any better. Port Augusta recorded a high of 43 degrees, Whyalla reached 39, and it was sunny and 41 in Port Pirie. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, and it was a similar story in most parts of our region. 43 in Woodna and Cooper Pedy. Kadina got to a top of 39. Broken Hill was 37. A little cooler in southern areas. Adelaide reached 35 and Port Lincoln the place to be today with a top of 33. Taking a look at the satellite image now, and high jet stream cloud over the south is not bringing any rain. Clearer skies over most of the state with a hot and dry air mass. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Westerly winds 15 to 20 knots. Seas 1 to 1.5 metres. The swell south to southwesterly less than a metre, and heatwave warnings remain active across all of our districts tomorrow, while an extreme fire danger warning is in place for the west coast, eastern Eyre Peninsula and the lower Eyre Peninsula. There's no sugarcoating tomorrow. It will be hot and dry everywhere. Port Lincoln reaching 41 degrees. Cleve also 41 and mostly sunny. Woodna will be windy and 43 degrees. Looking further north now, Whyalla and Kadina can both expect 41 degrees and sunny conditions tomorrow. Port Augusta will be a degree higher. Port Pirie residents can expect sunny and 42 tomorrow. Clare a few degrees cooler, a top of 38 expected there, and Broken Hill is set for a top of 36 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, and Friday will be hot and windy with the chance of a storm. Cooper Pedy 41, Woodna 38. Taking a look further through the week now, and Friday will be hot and windy with a chance of a storm. Cooper Pedy 41, Woodna 38. The Iron Triangle cities can all expect a top of 42, windy and 37 in Port Lincoln, 38 in Broken Hill. Friday's storms will give way to some much needed relief from the heat wave on Saturday. temperatures will drop to high 20s and low 30s. Cloudy and 23 in Port Lincoln, Adelaide 25, 34 in Broken Hill, Port Augusta and Port Pirie are both set for 29. Those mild temperatures will stick around on Sunday, while at 26 Cooper Pedy reaching 33, 27 in Kadina, 30 degrees and partly cloudy in Broken Hill. So John, tomorrow is looking like a dangerous fire day with hot and windy conditions set to keep firefighters on notice. Thankfully, there is some cooler weather on the way. I'll have an update later, but for now, it's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. And Madeline Kerr will be back with you in the chair tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.